Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you may be. You don't know Nomi. And, when I saw that title, I was like, Nomi? Okay, what? Yeah, I mean, it could be just anyone named Nomi, but of course, I was like, that name, I've only known it in regards to showgirls, I think. Elizabeth Berkley. And then I started reading the description. I mean, I saw Elizabeth Berkley. I was like, huh, she's doing something again like showgirls. I was like, and then I see that it's basically kind of I guess like a documentary or a movie regarding showgirls. So let's just take a look at this.
You either get it or you don't.
Without further ado, I give you Showgirls!
Am I just gonna watch this movie until I die?
Absolutely no one under the age of 17 is allowed.
I don't think they have an attractive star. They don't do anything original in the screenplay. I didn't care for the film.
Lousy movie.
Really lousy acting.
It was a disaster.
It's kind of raunchy.
Very, very bad.
Let me guess, worst movie, Showgirls.
Showgirls, you got it.
Good guess.
Which most people do call it.
I just got here.
Okay, yes, it's a failed movie,
Where are you from?
but it adds up to something.
Different places.
A type of comedy I don't think you can make on purpose, which makes it very rare and valuable.
I hadn't seen something so perfectly bad in years. It was done. Civilization had done its job.
Showgirls is also signaling to fans of Paul Verhoeven that it's like his other films.
People are much more inclined to think that it's nearly criminal to portray sex. Sexuality is part of our life, and we should not be afraid of it.
I used to love Doggy Chow.
I used to love Doggy Chow too.
You can't believe they're trying to sell us this.
You never know what's going to become a cult film.
For those of us that get it, it can become our religion.
This is a role that does not come around that often.
It's weird having that protagonist as a character that's so cathartic.
I'm Nomi Malone.
Nice dress.
Thanks to Versace.
And the worst picture of the decade is Showgirls.
I want to watch this thing over and over and over again.
I think we're still talking about Showgirls because we're not done with it.
The film that gets reclaimed as a stealth masterpiece.
Okay. I'm actually kind of interested in this. Okay, so I don't think I've ever actually watched Showgirls. I mean, like the entire movie or even half of it. I know I've seen scenes here and there, be it on YouTube or I've caught it on like TV once or twice. And I've seen different things, different parts of it. But again, it's just so bad that I was just like, I think the few times I did try to watch it, I was just like, nope, I can't do it. And as you saw by by the critics saying, I mean, this movie's so universally panned as one of the worst movies ever. Which is something, again, as I love Elizabeth Berkley, as from growing up with Saved by the Bell and everything. And again, I look forward to, and I do want to see more of the Saved by the Bell reboot, requel, whatever it is, to go there. But one thing, let me back it up. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, so that's what. If I ever learn this fact, and loving the movie trivia schmodown and everything, I may have learned this at some point, but I forgot. Paul Verhoeven, who again, Starship Troopers, as we see, Total Recall, and RoboCop, great movies, directed Showgirls too. That's weird. I mean, that's a weird fact to know. So, wow. So yeah, and especially through that, through that lens, looking at it, it makes it kind of all the more enticing, for lack of a better word, that this guy who has made such amazing film, again, I mean, okay, it's not amazing cinema or whatever, but I mean great action films, or kind of okay, in the again, Starship Troopers, great sci-fi film, Total Recall, with all of the great action film, and RoboCop, kind of a, was it action kind of horror in itself, because of, in the sense of, like, not horror monster or anything, but what happens to this man, this cop whose life is taken away, and then he becomes this cyborg and still has memories of that life. I mean, that deconstruction, just looking at, to think that, knowing now that, or reminding, if I ever did learn the fact to begin with, that Paul Verhoeven directed Showgirls too. I mean, what was going through his mind that went from those to that? It's interesting. So I think this documentary would also give some insight into that. Plus, again, you see Elizabeth Berkley's thoughts at the time. She says that line, a role like this only comes once at a time. I'm sure afterwards she was just like, oh my God, really? But wow, that is actually interesting. I think I want to see this, which kind of in a weird way makes me want to go see Showgirls again, just to really look at how universally bad it is again. But then to be able to look at this and, try to look at it through the perspective of the person who makes the film. So, very interesting. Yeah, I think that's all I can really say about that. Yeah. So, as always, that's my reaction, my thoughts, my little review. Feel free to share, subscribe, hopefully give me a like, and feel free to leave a comment. Again, what do you think of You Don't Know Nomi? Have you seen Showgirls? What do you think of this fact of it being a Paul Verhoeven movie, if you didn't know that, like I didn't? Or just thoughts